I'm sure you talk to a lot of current players on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
Are they saying anything to you off the record, on the record, whatever? I'm not asking you to name names, but I'm just curious what you're hearing from players if they're frustrated with how bad the officiating is. Because it's becoming a thing. It's becoming a narrative.
Yeah.
We saw it. ESPN, they had to put on the referee the other night to defend a call and all that stuff. I know that everyone always the standard line is, well, they get most of the calls right, but it is a problem whether the NFL wants to admit it or not. I'm curious what players are saying this year.
Yeah, they're not just upset with the officiating. They're also upset with like the way that rules are being applied to the game. And by that, I mean, not just like pass interference and roughing the passer, but them getting fined on defense for hits that 10 years ago they would be applauded for, or them getting fined for hits on defense where they actually are following the rules, but something happens because it's football and, oh my goodness, his helmet accidentally touched this guy while he was falling, and now they're getting money taken out of their pocket. So like you said, I won't mention any names, but players are certainly talking about it. They're upset about it because at the end of the day, like, I do my job and I pride myself on being bipartisan. I don't have a favorite. I don't root for a team. I just cover the game and tell the story the way it's supposed to be told. I've called multiple Baylor games in college football, and the main takeaway from the fans has been, wow, he wasn't biased at all. As a Baylor Bear, I anticipated that he was going to call this game like a Baylor Bear. And you have to ask yourself, like, is that really what's going on with the refs? Is that really these guys are from places. They have favorite teams, and we're all human at the end of the day. Even though I put all that behind me and I call the game that I want it, the way I want it to go, you and I both know that if Baylor wins, I'm happy for them. That's the school that I went to. So how do you assess that with a referee who has a flag in his pocket and can make calls that it can change the outcome of the game based off of where he's from or what his favorite team was or who he rooted for when he was a kid? Because I don't know very many referees that just get into refereeing because they want to referee. Like they might get into refereeing because they followed the game as a child. And that's the conversation that players are having more so, especially in the locker room. Like, this guy's from, Green Bay and he threw that flag, or he's from Green Bay and he didn't throw that flag because he didn't want to seem like he was guilty of doing something. So the conversations go much deeper into the weeds than people actually think. But players are really, really upset that now not only are the calls like all over the place, but they're getting money taken out of their pocket for things that they don't really believe they should. Like, I really don't know how defenders play defense anymore.
Right.
Can't hit the quarterback high, can't hit him low, can't hit guys across the middle high. If you hit them low, you're a dirty player. Like, what are they supposed to do? And I really feel bad for them.
So are you hearing it more from players this year than ever before? Or
I would say that yeah, go ahead.
No, you go.
I was going to say, as a player in the locker room, I heard it for my entire 8-year career. Now in the media, because players don't mind. I'll say this: players don't mind the bad calls because it's always chucked up to, like you said, they made most of them the majority of the game. They missed this one holding that I had that they didn't call. But once you start taking money out of their pocket, it's a problem. Now the rules and the referees are hurting them in a certain aspect, and that's always going to be an issue. You mess with a player's money, they're not going to deal with you. So
what you brought up about players thinking that certain referees may have certain biases, has that always been the case, or is that something that you think is new?
I don't think it's new. I think I never thought about that when I was a college football player, but as I got into the NFL, those conversations in the locker room started to teeter in that direction. Listen, we had guys or in our own meetings where we're like diagramming where certain guys are from and like who's going to go talk to that guy because he's from Dallas, Texas, or this guy over here, he's from New Hampshire. Hey, such and such, you're from New Hampshire. Go talk to that ref before the game so that we can get everything, on the good with him to make sure he's giving us the calls that we want to give him. Now, did that work? Probably not. Like it probably didn't work at all, but there's a lot of thought that goes into who the refs are, where they're from. How can we do everything in our power legally, just having conversation to get this guy to give us a few calls?